Hey, it's Ryan Milky, and this is the weekly breakdown episode of House of the Dragon. This week we are on episode 5. What can I say? Wow, guys. I want to apologise to everybody for the lack of intros at the beginning. I didn't know that an email account could be invalid. I've had an email account since I was 13 years old, and today I logged into it and it told me I could no longer access this email account and it had all been removed. So I can't get my code for my StreamYard and all that stuff. So I've got to make loads of new stuff. But, the joys of being on YouTube, I suppose. But yeah, Christina Payne, welcome. Nadia, welcome. The Nightbot, it's working. Look at that. I put exclamation mark popping in the chat and it put Charles's YouTube link in. So I think we've got a couple of other people in there. We've got all of the horsemen. If anyone would like to be added to the Nightbot, reach out to me on Instagram and I will add you to the Nightbot. And all you've got to do is put exclamation mark in your name and it will drop your YouTube link in the chat. So yeah, guys, without further ado, I want to get this show on the road. So I have a pile of notes, literally a pile of notes. But first, I have some guests that I want to bring on because if you guys aren't aware, episode 5 was a wedding, right? And what's a good wedding without good guests, right? So we're going to bring on a guy that you might not know on my channel because he's new around here, especially on my channel. I've known of him for a while, but he's new on the lives and stuff. And if you've been paying attention to the stuff that I've been doing, then you might have seen him very recently. But yeah, I'm going to bring on my good friend Headless Ned Stark. He's got a great channel, and we will be dropping his link in the chat for everybody to subscribe to. But we're going to bring him on now, guys. Hey, dude, how you doing?
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man?
I'm doing absolutely perfect. I'm just chilling out. I've been excited to do this. I had a crap day today with the funeral of the Queen and stuff like that, so it's been kind of down and depressing. And then I knew that I'd pushed my live back to Mondays instead of Sundays, so I wasn't part of the mad rush. And I just thought, hey, what a great way to be able to support you on a Sunday, and then I can bring you on with me as well on Mondays, and it's even better, isn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect. And if you ever want to join on a Sunday, absolutely.
Oh yeah, of course.
More the merrier. It definitely makes for a better stream, that's for sure. Yeah, dude, I'm just ready to rock this episode. This episode was fantastic, so I'm just ready to deep dive it.
Well, I hope you got your invitation in the mail, and you can always have +1. So this wedding's going to be real, dude. Let's bring on our next guest, shall we? So what can I say about my next guest? So all of today, I've been watching a guy called Charles decide that he wants to, well, not want, he inherited the throne in the UK. He is actually King Charles, but really, he'll never be the Charles to me, because the Charles to me is the one, the only. Recently just hit 1,000 subscribers, guys, so please, hearts and celebrations in the chat for Charles at Poppin, Missouri. Let's bring Charles on.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Congratulations again for this weekend. And
yeah,
have you learned how to breathe fire yet, or is that past?
It was close. Yeah, I was right there.
You're a trooper, dude. The way you handled that one chip was unbelievable. I think you were 45 minutes without a drink.
You can tell it actually was you almost an hour and a half.
Yeah. Dude, you're crazy. Welcome, Headless. Can you say that name for me so I can listen to you say it, and then I know how to say it in future?
Yeah, so that's Lily Afire. And
Lily Afire, okay.
Lily Afire, and she joined me in my live yesterday when we broke down episode 5.
Awesome. Well, welcome in, Lily. Welcome to the Game of Thrones House of the Dragon breakdown chats. Welcome to my channel. Let's get this show going, shall we, guys? So, initial thoughts on the episode. We'll try and be spoiler-free for the first 5 minutes, and then if anybody wants to leave, then they're more than welcome to if they don't want to have any spoilers. So, just initial thoughts on the episode as a whole.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing, Charles says. You really, really enjoyed it this time. It wasn't. I will get into questions with you because I know that for a couple of weeks you've been wanting a certain dude to do stuff, and I think that this week he kind of did everything he could do. But that's Criston Cole for you. What did you think, Headless? What did you think, dude?
Yeah, I'm just glad to see Criston Cole get a little action. Like he got some action in episode 4, right? But now there's real action, and I'm glad because he's been like a statue the first 3.5 episodes, basically. But so yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought the episode was fire. I gave it a 9 out of 10 yesterday, and I watched most of it again today. And it's just, the show is just so much better than I thought it was going to be honest with you guys. The source material obviously is fantastic, and as of right now, through 5 episodes, I mean, it's just as good as Game of Thrones,
if not better. Just putting it out there. Just if not better, a little bit. I know we're only 5 episodes in, and that's a heavy statement to say, but
yeah,
I think if it goes the way it's going, I think it could be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know this is way in the past, so we know everyone's dead at this point in the Game of Thrones timeline. But it's how they get there, and and what happens, in their travels and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, the first 5 episodes, you're right. Like I was kind of thinking back to the last 5 episodes, the first 5 episodes of Game of Thrones, and it may be better just because of there's the least amount of characters. There's less characters to have to worry about. And even though in this episode I had a hard time because there's a lot of new characters introduced, and but still, at least these characters that we're starting to like and kind of learn who they are, at least they have screen time. Because that was the biggest flaw I thought in season 1 of Game of Thrones, is there's so many characters. And even after watching that thing all the way through twice, I still wait, who's that guy again? So, but yeah, so far so good.
It's like an encyclopedia of characters in Game of Thrones, but it is crazy. This episode itself, I think we were introduced to 4, maybe 5 new characters. It seemed like there was loads of new people. Like we'd seen them in previous episodes, but it felt like this episode they were announced and they were introduced. And for example, just to pull a name out of my head, Lord Larys, Clubfoot. Mm-hmm. We'd seen him in the female chamber when Varys was getting drunk at the hunt. We seen him sat with them, but he didn't really speak, did he? But now this episode we did see him speak. Hey Johnny, how you doing, my friend? Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate everybody being here. So is everybody okay with the pacing? I know, the first couple of episodes were a bit like, one dominating factor has been how much are they going to jump forward? It seems like we always ask that question every week. So are you both okay with the pacing of the show? Are you finding it manageable? Are you struggling a little bit? For example, this episode, we see a girl that was yay high trying to marry the king in episode 2 to now being a fully grown, independent woman, in Laena Velaryon. So, yeah. Are you both happy with the pacing?
Personally, yeah, because there's enough story and backstory to cover the time span that we're doing. If there was no story to it and we just jumped ahead, I'd probably already be done with the show, to be totally honest. But they're keeping up with the character, which is good.
Yeah, the pacing I thought was strange in the beginning, but now that we're 5 episodes in, I'm kind of used to. I'm almost expecting the time jumps. Where again, I don't think there was much of a time jump between 4 and 5. Maybe a couple months or whatever, but there's not much there. But yeah, so the way they've done it makes sense. And and I know, spoilers, I guess. Next episode, if you saw the trailer, we're making a bigger time jump. And, we're going to lose some of these actresses that we're getting used to. And it'll be interesting to see how exactly they, how the older actresses play these same characters that we're used to. And, how much have they changed? Because a decade is a long time.
Definitely. It is a long time. It is a very, very long time. Okay, guys. Well, I think we should just get down into breaking in the episode. I can see 10 minutes live on my clock. So let's just get straight into it, guys. Hello, Kenneth. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. Christina Payne, if you put hashtag spread the love in the chat, let's see what that does. Right, guys, let's break this down. So I have going to go straight to my notes. First scene of the show, right? We meet Lady Rhea at Runestone. So Runestone is northeast of King's Landing. In the middle of that gap is Dragonstone, where the Targaryens are from. Just to give you a little bit of scale on the map a little bit. We see her in Runestone with her cousin Gerald Royce. This is Daemon's affectionately named Bronze Bitch. And within the same opening scene, we see her introduction and her death, or we learn of her death, basically. Thoughts on that? Were you shocked? Were you a bit like, dude, what the hell? We only just met this woman.
Not really. Not really. He's in a weird place right now, and I think he's just cleaning. I don't know how to put it, but other than just cleaning up his past, maybe.
So Damon, you're referencing, yeah? You think Damon's
anything that might come back to bite him in the future here? That, and he knows what her inheritance is as well, because he says it later that he wants it now because they didn't have kids, so it's his. So I think that's his way of becoming king of something, or in his eyes at least.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested. What did you think about it?
Yeah, you know, I was like, when we first saw her on screen, I really had no idea who she was. And then obviously you see the figure that, you know, it reminded me of like straight out of Kenobi, that he's just standing there with his hood up, and I'm like, oh, look, it's like a Jedi. And so obviously I knew who it was, and then I kind of can make the connection. I guess it would have been nice to see a little bit more of her character, but honestly, it didn't really surprise me because, you know, we haven't seen her, and there's got to be reasons for that. And so, you know, I think he wanted to kill her, and the way it was done, I thought was perfect because, you know, he's kind of walking away, and she's like, "Oh, you're just gonna walk away and not finish the job," and he's probably like, "Oh yeah, I got this rock over here, by the way." So I thought it was kind of cool the way it was done. I mean, he stuck with this character from what we learned of him. So
I just would like to have seen a little bit more of her. Like, obviously, all the way through it, he called her his bronze bitch, and you were made to believe that she might have been ugly and all this stuff. But I thought she was a rather attractive lady. I thought what I gained from it was Damon doesn't like her because she doesn't like Damon, and because she doesn't let Damon walk all over her. You know,
that's the thing, and she's a strong woman. I mean, that's I think that's the main reason why.
Yeah. So I want to give you guys a bit of book knowledge as well, unless you don't want any book knowledge. I know you want to read the books, but I will give you a little bit of book knowledge. So Damon has nothing to do with her death in the books whatsoever. She just falls off her horse and hits her head on a rock. And at the time that happens, Damon is in the Stepstones fighting the crab feeder.
Huh. So they changed that all around, huh?
Yeah, they've changed a lot of stuff around. I noticed this episode. So I wrote down here, in the book, she falls from her horse and cracks her head on a stone. Bedridden for 9 days. When she was well enough, she stood up and collapsed and died within 1 hour later. And for reference, that's page 374 in the book. Damon was fighting the crab feeder at this time in the book, so it definitely wasn't him.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd share that bit of knowledge as well, because I did see that and I was like, well, hang on a minute. There's something that the show has gone, and they've gone down that route. They've tried to make us think and believe that it was Damon. We didn't even see him do it. You know, we just seen him walk back towards her with a rock. We never seen the actual kill, so it is down to interpretation, I suppose. Yeah.
Wow. That's shocking to me, actually. That to me, that's a big change. And again, maybe that's what they're trying to go for in the show. They're trying to show more of Damon's, you know, personality, because obviously in a book, you know, you get all the details. You know, so maybe there's more details that really show who he is and how, you know, how he is. And you know, in the show, sometimes you need those actions to portray what's in the book. So, but yeah,
and you don't hear much of her in the book. All you get is one chapter or like one little sentence that says she fell from her horse, hit her head. 9 days later, she was bedridden, woke up and walked. An hour later, died. That's all you get. It was like, oh, okay then.
Wow.
But yeah,
very interesting.
Yeah. And I like how you said that it shocks you, because in this chat tonight there will be more shocks of things that aren't in the books that they put in the show. So I'll be excited for you guys to see which ones those are. But yeah, fast forwarding through the episode, King Viserys, we see him on a ship, and he's looking very unwell and easy on his feet. And I put here in hyphened brackets foreshadowing for what's to come later on the episode. Because at the beginning he was all like, whoa, you know, it looked like he was going to collapse and fall over on that ship. You know, and then I just made a little note, rain. I don't know why I was satisfied seeing it raining in King's Landing. Because for all of Game of Thrones, it just felt like it was a golden city, sunshine all the time. I know there was a couple of episodes with rain, but we got rain. And I just loved it. I loved it. How's everybody doing in the chat? I hope everybody's doing good. If you have any questions for anybody on the panel or anybody in the chat, then feel free to just fire them out and we'll get them going as we're going through the stream. So next scene, guys, Alicent doesn't want to see her father Otto go, and he gives her some home truths regarding the realm. A very powerful scene. I think every scene that Otto is in just gets better and better and better. He's so good. He's so good. What do you guys think of that? Like, do you think he's right? Do you think that what he told her, Rhaenyra will have to kill your sons to have a claim to the throne? Do you think she's going to have to do that?
It's tough. I mean, you would think, especially since we know there's a civil war coming. I mean, yeah,
It's crazy though, isn't it? To think like
it is crazy. But we saw what Joffrey did, in going around killing all of Robert's bastards and everything. And man, I hope
she's just one woman now, isn't she? She's the only high tower that's there. She's alone, and she needs that. I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
I think it's interesting later on. I won't say, but she shows her true colors. Let's just put it that way.
Charles, I love that comment. Well done.
I remember you saying something about that a couple episodes ago, and she shows her true color. And I think that's going to really come to be within the next few episodes, personally.
Mm-hmm. She tells her to prepare Aegon to rule or plead for mercy and cling to Rhaenyra because you will need it. So I'm excited to see the dynamic move forward. And that's why I think they needed to change actresses. Because for the scenes and the things that are coming now, they're going to be hard hitting. I'm not saying she couldn't have done that, but it's hard to say things without spoiling it, of course, but it will be justified. I believe it will be justified as to why the characters are older and why they do a 10-year jump at the end. I definitely do think that.
So do you think that we're finished with these actresses then at this point, or do you think we'll have a little bit of it in episode 6?
No, dude. Unfortunately, I think we're done. Episode 6 will start, and it's 10 years later. Older people.
Yeah, I just feel like there's there's a lot of loose ends, but there are some loose ends that, like, I don't know, like a decade later, like Viserys, like not actually being dead in 10 years later, like when he's coughing up blood already, and then what happened with Alicent and Kristen Cole. And I know we haven't really talked about that much yet, but there's I think there's quite a few loose ends that I don't know. I guess that's the one thing. I unless they do a really good job explaining it, but I'd like to know like what happens.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. Definitely. I do completely agree.
Before we got started, I told Ryan, I said if it was a normal TV show, it was a perfect cliffhanger episode. To leave off in the spring and pick up back in September like normal TV shows do, because it was perfect. There's so many cliffhangers at the end of it, and you're like, like you're saying, if we're jumping ahead 10 years, that's a big jump. 2, 3, okay, 10, that's a huge jump.
I know,
for
right?
what happened at the end of the episode to just cut it right there. A lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because like they leave that like Viserys is on his like deathbed, like when he's crippled, he topples over, and you're like, I thought like, okay, that's it. I mean, he's probably dead right there, and then in the preview you see that he's back. So I don't know, we'll see. But I know like Lily had mentioned yesterday that we talked about leprosy, and she kind of was explaining what that was. So it kind of makes sense if that's what it is.
Yeah, the person who plays him, Paddy Constantine, he confirmed that it was leprosy.
Oh, okay, there you go then.
So yeah, and I didn't know that until Lily shared that yesterday. So it was nice to be given information, because I like to, I'm not being big-headed. I like to think that I know quite a lot about the show and Game of Thrones because I read the books and all that kind of crap. But then to meet somebody that I literally just met the day she went live on your stream, and she gave me information that I didn't know, I was like, dude, perfect,
Yeah.
It was really great, so I appreciate that. And I have just dropped her link in the chat, guys, if anybody wants to go subscribe to her channel. She's on the road to 100. She literally looks like a brand new account, so go subscribe, guys. So yeah, moving forward, guys, we get to see Driftmark, the home of the Valerians, and the Hall of Nine. And the Hall of Nine, so as they were walking down, you see, well, first, before we get to that point, the king wasn't greeted by the Valerians, was he? He travels all that way on the boat. Looks like, why is he traveling? And again, he rode these dragons, right? It came across me the other day. Why do they only just fly dragons to fight? Why don't they use dragons as utility? I'd love to ask George R. R. Martin that question if I ever had the chance. You know, why don't you use it as utility? Why don't you take what you need from here and take it all the way over there as you need it with a dragon?
Yeah,
for example, you know?
it would make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And how many people could you get on the back of a dragon instead of a ship? It didn't make any sense. I was like, it made no sense at all. But yeah, so they don't greet him, which is kind of weird. We finally see Lady Lena is all grown up. Nice, lovely looking lady. As a single man, I'm quite happily easily say that. I was kind of like, damn it, the king should have chose her when she was 12, but kind of shouldn't say that.
I think she's 18, so you're good. You're good.
Yeah, she's 18 now, but I probably would, if knowing what I know, I would have chose her when she was 12. Yeah, so I thought it was very disrespectful that they didn't meet up, they didn't greet the king. And yeah, we then cut to a scene off topic, but we'll come back to it. So we then see Alicent in the Weirwood area, and she's talking to Lord Varys, but we're going to just put that on hold for a second and go back to Driftmark while we're there, because it makes sense. So the king meets with Corlys Velaryon. I'm getting the names, guys. I'm getting them.
Yeah, right.
The king meets with Corlys Velaryon, and Corlys decides, hey, I'm going to have a bit of balls here. You know, I'm going to, you look ill. Make a note. Did any of you notice that he refused drink for the first time in 5 episodes? He was offered a drink standing there, and he said, no. And then he was like to his mouth because he was poorly. It was a very notable point because he's been an alcoholic. He's been a raging wino for 5 episodes, you know?
Yeah.
Praise to the god of tits and wine, as Tyrion would say. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. So yeah, where am I going with this train of thought? What did you guys think of Driftmark? It's a beautiful, beautiful castle, and it was actually filmed in England.
Nice.
Where they did the UK filming of that part. What did you think of Driftmark? Was it grandeur, like you thought, for a guy that had won all these sailing trophies and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a castle, you know.
Yeah. I actually thought it was a little low scaled. Like I just thought it was small scale looking. I don't know. I we had the one little shot of it, but like when you're in there, to me it felt small. I don't know. Maybe it was just
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I felt like the throne room itself was very small. I thought like that was everything was crammed in that one room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we really only saw like 2 rooms, and like we saw the outside area a little bit, and then the throne room.
And then we see the walkway through where we see all his gold, all his trophies from his 9 voyages.
Yeah. So I mean, they didn't show a whole lot of it, but
no, that's true. And the throne looks like it's just made out of wood, which is a bit weird when you've got one made out of swords just a bit further down the ocean.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then did you notice Rhaenys? She grabs the king's hand and she realizes he's got no fingers there.
Yeah.
I wish. Oi, boys, said Crids Collectors. Welcome in, my friend.
Hey, Crids.
I've got a PhD in Google. Well, if it works, it works. So yeah, I was a bit. I liked seeing Driftmark because I don't know. Maybe I've got more knowledge of it and stuff, but it was nice to know that it was made and filmed in the UK, on UK shores, and it was also nice to see that he is the dude of ships. He's the guy that runs all these ships, and he's got his castle out on this island. That when the high tide's in, no one can get to him. You can't get to them, and this dude owns all the ships. So it's like that's quite a strategic plan in my eyes.
Yeah, that makes sense a lot.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I really liked it. But yeah, so I've said there, note that the king refuses that. So Rhaenyra and Laenor make a marriage agreement. And I have something here that I would like to ask you guys. Duck or goose?
Goose.
Anybody in the chat would like to answer this question? Duck or goose? What about you, Headless Ned? Duck or goose? There is no right or wrong answer. It's just how would you like to eat this week?
Yeah, I agree. Goose.
Yeah, goose.
Yeah.
Crids Collector says goose.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say duck just to be different. Let me remove that. So yeah, that was what if anybody that is wants to know the references behind that. Laenor and Rhaenyra decide, right, look, your dad wants me to get married, your dad wants me to get us to get married. Why don't we just get married and fuck who we want to fuck? You know, this is an over 18 show, so I'll say it, but let's just fuck who we want to fuck. Why do we have to be with each other when you're clearly gay and I want to be with my uncle?
It's all normal.
It's just normal, right? Hey, Tats, welcome in. Look, if it's crispy, says Crids Collector. So yeah, I was. What did you think of that? Did you see that coming? Did you see Laenor being gay last week?
Not really. I mean, I didn't. I mean, but you never know. It's Game of Thrones. I mean, I think half the people are gay and or lesbians or whatever. So, but I think it definitely made it for an interesting dynamic just because of the way we met. You know, his lover or whatever you want to call him, his boy toy, and you know,
I'd rather call him a boy toy than his actual name because when I say the word Joffrey, I get shivers down my spine.
Right.
But yeah, exactly. It was just, you know, I don't know. You were all talking about it leading up to these couple of weeks. You were like, well, she's going to go and have to marry that Valerian boy. And I had the knowledge in my head knowing this dude's gay. This dude's going to not want to be with her. and it was just a brilliant thing to go. Pop Tompkins says House of the Dragon is fire. And I highlight that comment and put it on screen. Thank you, dude.
Nice.
I really appreciate it. You know, like I'll let the guys at HBO know if I ever get to speak to them.
Mookie's going to be in season 2 somehow.
Oh, dude, if I could be, I'm telling you, I would be.
I'll fly to UK if you can get me in season 2.
Yeah, man. I'll play Mushroom the midget jester, dude.
There you go.
So we're going to fast forward. So Kristen has heard Charles's concerns all the way through these last couple of weeks. He's been tuning into our lives, guys, and he's been listening to Poppy Missouri saying, I wish you would do stuff. I wish he's boring. He stands there, doesn't do anything. Headless Ned noted earlier that he got a little bit of action last week, you know? He got to ride that dragon, which was nice. But this week, our good old boy Kristen just couldn't shut up. He just couldnn't, could he? So what I've written down, he tells Rhaenyra that he wants her to run away with him to Essos. Rhaenyra denies him and says she has duties to the crown. A big 360, 180 turn from last week. Feels like she, you know, a couple of episodes ago, she was annoyed with the duties that she has to follow. And now this week it was like turning down the one dude that she's had sex with, I suppose. What do you think of that? Did you see that coming?
Yes and no, because she still wants to live her life the way she wants to, but she understands what is expected of her at the same time, you know, and she can't get away from that. I mean, no matter how hard she tries, she's never going to step out of that light. So,
What do you think of that reaction, Headless?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit shocking on his part, just because like he seems like a very honorable person until, you know, what happens. But I thought it was a little bit shocking. I mean, it to me he gives me off a little bit of the Jon Snow vibe, a little bit like, you know, just not
honorable, wanting to do the right thing,
but not maybe the smartest person, you know, at the table sometimes. But
yeah,
so it was a little bit shocking. It wasn't shocking at all that she turned it down. Like, I mean, that was pretty. I mean, I knew that was going to happen, but yeah, it was definitely a little interesting conversation they had though on the boat. That's for sure.
Okay, and I will give you guys a little bit of book knowledge again. That conversation happened between the two of them. Never happened on a boat. It happened in her chambers. Kristen Cole confessed his love to her, and in the book, she was way more brutal to him. She told him that she was the blood of a dragon and he was just a simple sellsword, and why would she ever want to run away with him? And it was brutal.
Interesting.
So yeah, it never happened on a boat, but you know, I don't mind that happening. Let me get my other headphones because my other one's telling me to charge.
We know, so, and like sometimes, you know, like in the TV series, like because there's so much more content in a book. sometimes they like to blend those scenes together, so they figured that was a good place publicly to do it.
Yeah,
I agree. Chris Collectors had a question there. So, is Game of Thrones as good as is House of the Dragon as good as Game of Thrones or better? Well, I'm going to say it's as good right now. 5 episodes in compared to the first 5 of Game of Thrones. There's too many things going around in my head at the minute. I would say it's just as good and teetering on getting better if they continue the way they're going. I do agree with that. So, yeah, Charles, were you happy that Kristen was doing stuff this episode?
Yeah, he finally got a voice. I know his position. He's supposed to be just loyal to her, but he already broke that. So why not just come out of your shell, dude? And he finally voiced his opinion and wanted to talk and wanted to do this and wanted to do that. And, at the end, I was like, well, I'm done. But no, so hopefully he's still around.
So, hey, Simon Crook, welcome, my friend. So I stand on the fence as to he didn't break his oaths. She broke his oaths.
Yeah, but it's a two-way street. It takes two people.
But not when it's your princess. Not when you have to do everything that you have sworn to protect and do everything that the princess asks of you. So if she wants to sit on you, you have to do it. She's the queen. She's the princess.
Yeah, I can see your point there, but
I don't know. That's where I stand. Milky, Ned, and Poppin, says Simon. Welcome in. The dragons look better than they did on Game of Thrones. Yeah, I completely agree, but that's because on Game of Thrones, the dragons looked best when they were little, when they were growing up and they were babies, and then they got a little bit bigger. They looked amazing then. When they got to full-size Drogon size, the only difference is colour in Game of Thrones, in my opinion. It's one breed of dragon, and they're just different colours. In House of Dragon, there's going to be 17 dragons, 22 dragons, 17 in this season, 9 in this season. I don't know how many there's going to be. And then there's like 4 different breeds of actual dragon.
Yeah, we've only seen 2 or 3 of them, really.
Well, we've seen a new dragon this episode. We are getting there. I don't know. We did see a brand new dragon this episode.
That was a brand new dragon?
Yes.
That wasn't Daemon's dragon, or was it the one next to him? You're saying? Because that was Daemon's dragon.
We didn't. We seen Daemon's dragon with the red, the red, and then when we seen the 2 of them coming in, there was sea smoke. There was sea smoke and Melees.
Because Daemon's is Caraxes?
Caraxes. Daemon's is Caraxes. This time we've seen Sea Smoke, and he is ridden by Laenor Valerian.
Oh, okay.
That's Sea Smoke. That's the dude that we've seen in episode 3 that comes down and helps Daemon with the crab feeder. That was who we seen then. And then it was his mother that was riding with him. It was Rhaenys. That was her dragon. And that dragon was Melees.
The problem is that Funko is messing this up. They should have dropped all these pops already, and we'd all know the character names. Like, at least have them in front of me. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. And next week, what I'll do is I'll bring some like things up on the screen so we can reference what we're saying with the names and stuff.
Yeah, and we only have 5 weeks left, and I don't think they drop till November. So this will be over by the time Series 1 drops.
I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. San Diego Comic-Con, they dropped that Allison Hightower, and that's it looks like it's probably from the end of the season, that exclusive. And they have this Daemon one with the egg, which was episode 2. And the Funko Shop hasn't even dropped that yet. Not to change this to Funko, but it's they're dropping the ball on this, man.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the names. It's only that I've got them written down. But yeah, we did see a new dragon. We see Melees and Sea Smoke. So Melees is a new dragon, and the rider of that is Rhaenys, the queen that never was.
Okay.
So yeah, just a little bit of reference there. But yeah, we also seen in this episode Helaena Targaryen, the second child of Alicent. So the baby that we see before she calls Kristen to her chambers, the baby we see is only her second child. It's not a new child that we've seen. So you are correct in what you were saying last night, Headless Ned, that it is only a couple of months or at least
So
about years.
what's the child's name?
The child's name is Helena Targaryen.
And is this a female then?
Yes.
Okay. So her second child is a female.
Yeah,
it's
Aegon
just
and
funny how
Helena.
they never tell you names of it's weird. And like Aegon, we haven't even seen him since like episode 3. Like it's just weird.
But yeah, but next week, as you've seen the trailer for Thingy, Aegon is a big thing next week. So
right, yeah.
Mr. Crispus came in and said a comment that is usually bannable by timeout in this chat, but I will give him a one-time warning because Big Easy usually absolutely ruins me with it weekly, so that's why he was removed. But he says it again, and he's going to get timed out. But welcome, Mr. Christmas. I love you, my friend.
Hey, Mr. Crispus.
Don't get why the glow-in-the-dark Night King Funko Pops dropped in value. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe, yeah. Anthony Blaze. Welcome, my friend.
None of those pops were ever really, really up there, though. I don't think.
Except for Headless Ned.
Yeah.
Headless Ned's $1,000, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some of them up there. There's some of them up there like £300, £400, £500.
Yeah, the last one I was looking at was there was one over at C2 or CT, the one in Chicago. Was it C2ET or something like that? And there was one I was after, and I don't know, it just kind of fell through because I was offering 1,200, but you know, PPG has it for $950, which is not right. I don't understand how they get that price because even $7 a pop, they had one about 2 months ago and it was like 1,300. So I don't know where they're getting $950 from, but yeah, I want to mint one though, you know, and it's hard to find. I told my wife once I get the Headless Net Star Funko Pop, I'm not collecting anything else anymore. Wink, wink. As I just opened up a $700 Star Destroyer Lego set.
Sorry, guys, I was just distracted by a text message there.
Oh, you're fine. We're talking Legos and Funkos.
So, Rhaenyra, no, wrong one. Alicent calls Kristen to her chambers, but just before that happens, she sees her husband return home and he collapses in the courtyard. Did you guys catch that scene?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He collapsed in the court scene, and I thought, oh, she's gonna go run to him. You know, oh my god, my husband. Did she hell? She went and wanted to confront Kristen Cole about all this stuff, you know. But before we get to the confrontation with her and Kristen Cole and why she is so hent up at the moment and so like on edge, we're gonna rewind a little bit to when she had the conversation with Lord Larys in the courtyard, and that dude. So I wrote a note. First we had Littlefinger, now we've got Bigfoot. From a Littlefinger to a Bigfoot. Because do you guys know who this dude is? It referenced it in the show that he's the son of the New Hand.
Yes.
And yeah, and he is basically incompetent in the sense of he can't fight. He's got a gammy foot. He was born with a big foot when he was old. It was like a twisted ankle or something, and that's the way it is. So he's a manipulative person, very secretive, and likes to always be listening. He's a master of whispers. I would give him that moniker. Hello, Baby Ice. Welcome in. Thank you for being here.
So his name's Larys. Is it
Lord Larys?
Lord
Larys.
Larys. Yeah. Okay.
Larys. That's correct. Yeah.
Larys. Yeah.
I've lost where I was in the notes. Yeah, but anyway, he talks to her, and the way he speaks to her is very tricky and very cool, isn't it? He says about this flower that shouldn't even be blooming here because it's from Bravos, and it was like a dig at her because she's a Hightower. She's not even a Targaryen, and she's in King's Landing. She shouldn't be there, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, it was very good foreshadowing. I like the dude, and I'm just gonna say keep an eye out for him in the future because he's like a Littlefinger. You know, he's always popping up here and there, listening in the background.
Nice. So
Lily has a question. Why does Alicent care so much about Sir Criston? Okay. So to answer that question, we'll get to the answer for you, Lily, but we're going to fast forward a little bit now. And she calls him into her chambers. Alicent calls Sir Criston into her chambers and says, I need to speak with you. I need to... And she's basically going on... she's going on about Damon, isn't she? She's honestly talking about Damon all the way through it. Like, I believe this happened and all this, and she's just trying to get information out of him. And then good old Kristen Cole, dude, decides, yep, it was me. I did it. Please don't kill me. Don't gild me. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying, man. It reminds me so much of Jon Snow, because that's what Jon would have done too.
Yeah, I agree.
It was like he was proud of it, but ashamed at the same time. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, but don't kill me.
So, and this, we've got 3 guys on the stream. Why would it be an issue if you're going to be killed? Why is it an issue to not be gelded at the same time? I know this is a hard question probably to ask, but if I'm getting killed, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But I suppose if you're proud of your manhood, then I suppose you might want to keep it.
Or was it one or the other?
Yeah, that's a good point. But then I wouldn't want to. I don't know. I'm on YouTube and there's only so much things I can say. But yeah. If I get to ride the dragon the episode before, I probably wouldn't watch it afterwards. But that's just me. Don't know what they're talking about, but maybe one day I'll watch it. Says Anthony Blaze, dude.
Come on, Anthony. 5 episodes. You can go binge that tonight.
You can watch it all in one day and catch up and be like, oh my god, Milky's right on what he's saying. So yeah, to answer Lily's question, why does he care? Why does she care so much? I think she always cared, didn't she? If you remember in episode 1, did she not take the favor of him at the tournament? Did she not take his favor?
Yeah.
Or was it Rhaenyra that took his favor?
I thought it was Rhaenyra, but
did she take Daemon's favor? Alicent took Daemon's favor.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, that kind of debunks my thought process. But
I didn't think that Alicent and Kristen even had a scene together beside that little. But again, there was like 3 people in that one. But I don't think they've ever had a solo, like their own scene ever.
No, I think you are correct. I don't think they had either.
No.
I think the answer to the question is power. That's the only reason why she cares.
Yeah, it makes sense.
She now has this guy by the balls. Like he said to her, please don't geld me. Please don't chop off my penis or my balls, because she wants to hold them and she wants to squeeze them when she chooses to.
Yeah.
And we see later on in the episode, he wants to go kill himself because he commits this thing and he says, look, if you're going to kill me, please do it honorably. I just want to go honorably. And did you see the way he tried to kill himself was a very honorable way, like a samurai would do. Behind, if they've been caught behind enemy lines, a samurai will stab it into the stomach and do this. It's a traditional way of committing suicide like that. And yeah, he went to do that and she stops him and says, Kristen, basically stop, and to me, I took that as I can now use you and mold you and do what I need you to do. You were close to Rhaenyra, you know secrets, you know things about the other side, and that's it, So yeah, that was. What do you guys think? Do you think she's using him for power? Do you think she might want to be with him when the king's gone? Do you think, do you think there's anything romantic there?
I think there's more of the power thing right now. Now we're going 10 years, here in next week, so that might totally change. But right now it's the power, and that's why she's not going to punish him at all, and that's why she stopped him from doing what he was going to do, because she knows she has it. She can get anything she wants out of that man right now, because she's not going to say anything about what happened. She's going to keep her mouth shut because she has that power.
Yeah, definitely. What about yourself, Headless?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, just because they haven't really had screen time together. But I can see that she could be a little jealous of Rhaenyra. Like, I mean, now that she found that out, and she's like, well, geez, why is she allowed to sleep with whoever she wants? I'm the queen, and I got to sleep with, Mr. Two Fingers or whatever, how many fingers he's got left. So, it'll be really interesting. But I think the power thing is huge for her, because, I mean, I know we haven't got to the scene yet, but when she comes walking in that wedding, like, the shit's about to go down.
Yeah. And we're literally just about to go into that in a couple of minutes. Lily goes, I think she's smart, cunning, and has a plan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. I think So what I took from the whole situation with that was, just before we move on to the wedding scene or the ceremony scene, Alicent took Rhaenyra's side. She believed what she said to her because she swore on her mother's memory that she had never slept with Daemon, and she was telling the truth. But she didn't sleep with Daemon. She was telling the truth, but she lost her father because of that lie. He's now gone. She distrusted her father because of that lie, and he's now kind of not enjoying, or didn't want to be around her, and said, look, you're gonna have to deal with it yourself. She's got children, and she's a single mother, well, kind of a single mother, because the king's useless. I just think she's super annoyed with the choices that Rhaenyra has decided to go down and the route that she's decided to do. Because look at the first episode, they're so pally. You know, Jeremy says that they could have been a love interest. And I've been searching back, and I can actually confirm with Jeremy that there was when they were very younger. They classed each other. They said they were in love with each other when they were younger in the books. So Jeremy kind of jumped onto that quite well to say we only got one line from it. But yeah, I think that she's just annoyed. And you've got to remember, she's very faithful to gods and to the laws and all this kind of stuff. And it breaks all of them to her. But yeah, guys, we're now moving on to the main course of this evening. The scene that just blew me away. So I have written down here, a Scottish voice announcing the guests was very nice to hear. A Scottish man, you know, the Lannisters of Casterly Rock, and then they walk in, and I was like, oh wow. And I the entrance for the Lannisters, I don't know about you guys, but the entrance for the Lannisters for me was like, nah, I'd rather have seen the Starks.
Yeah.
I know that they probably did that for placement because everybody from the show knows the Lannisters, and you know, it makes sense. But as a true Game of Thrones fan, I have, you know, one on my hip here. I would prefer it if it was the Starks that came to the wedding that day. I think they were there at the ceremony. I keep calling it a wedding, but it wasn't. But they were at the feast. So before we get on to the badass scene, what did you think of the intro of the Lannisters?
I thought it was good. Yeah, like I mentioned yesterday in my live, I said, you know, it would have been nice to like another minute, and you could have saw the Lannisters come in, you could have saw the Starks come in, you could have saw the Baratheons come in, and it kind of just would have tied everything up really nice. And at least each faction would have had their own little, like, 10, 15 seconds. But I mean, again, and when you're talking an hour show, and you got to cut some weight sometimes, and it is what it is. And we know that the Lannisters will be will be ruling. Well, I guess Cersei, because I mean, she's still considered, I guess, a Baratheon, but they basically will be running King's Landing, in the future. So it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So then we're going to move on to. So I put here, enter House Lannister, meh. Enter House Valerian, wowzer. They look amazing.
Yeah.
Like that entrance, it's been thrown at us several times. It was in the trailer for the show. It was in the all the stuff leading up to the season. That scene where they're walking in, it's just brilliant. Like, how badass did they look? The white, long hair.
You could feel the power through the TV. Personally, I could. You knew that they were meant to be there, and the other family was just like, yeah, we're here. Whatever. Mm-hmm. I didn't get picked. Boo hoo.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked at it.
Definitely. My best friend just texted me, stop nodding your head like a nodding dog. Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. Oh, wow. So then, guys, Daemon returns. I didn't expect Daemon to be here. He just had turned up out of nowhere, was banished like the week before or last week. I was like, dude, badass. Just comes in, sits down on the end of the table there, like, yeah, what you gonna do? Mm-hmm. Like every scene, he just demands attention, doesn't he? Every scene he's in.
Yeah, I definitely was not expecting that. I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. I was not expecting Daemon to be there. I mean, you saw him coming in the dragon, so you're like, okay. And I thought something bigger was going to happen than that. But then we'll talk about the next scene.
Well, yeah. As the king's in his speech, so the king gets the ceremony underway, or the feast, or whatever you want to call it, gets it underway, and as he's in his speech, the best, most badass moment of this entire episode, in my opinion, was when Alicent decides to come into the room midway through her husband's speech, and she has basically declared war. She has this stunning, striking green dress on, and she walks in. Every single eye in that room is fixed on her. She has got the attention that she deserved and what she wants, and she walks in with this dress. And as somebody in the crowd says, do you represent the symbol that means? What a house high tower, when their mast at the top of their tower is green, it means that they are declared war. So now we can officially be greens versus blacks. And that's the way the show's going. It's going to be two sides, greens versus blacks. The greens will be the high towers and everyone with those, and the blacks will be everybody on the Targaryen side, like Rhaenyra and all that kind of stuff. So that's definitely going to be fun, and everybody will be able to choose what side that they belong to, and we'll probably play a couple of games along the way, depending on what side you're in or what side you're not in. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I thought it was very symbolic, the green dress. It was very symbolic. It meant a very powerful thing moving forward. And I just want to talk about the power dynamic of this whole scene. You know, first we had Daemon talking with Gerald. Then we had Laena talking with Daemon. Then we had Joffrey talking with Kristen. Then we had Harwin Strong and Rhaenyra. And then we had Daemon and Rhaenyra. All within this dance of dragons, which was very apropos, because we're moving forward to what I know as the Dance of Dragons. And you see how it all happened. You know, there was a dance going on, and the proposed king and queen that are coming in the future were dancing with each other without touching each other, and it was a very symbolic scene. Did you guys like that? The music for me was intense. Did you feel like you were watching Game of Thrones, Headless Nerds?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because like yesterday in the live, I totally missed the spot. I missed the part where Kristen and Joffrey were actually talking, and because I was trying to look up the cousin's name at that point, and so I totally missed that. And I'm like, wait, why is he attacking this guy out of nowhere? And after rewatching it, I'm like, oh, okay, well that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, it was just another classic, you know, Game of Thrones universe type wedding where we knew they were building up the tension pretty good. And you just knew it was going to happen. And, you know, obviously the trailer for episode 5, it kind of spoiled it because we kind of knew what was going to happen. You know, I want to ask you a quick question, though. Going back to the dress that Alicent was wearing. So maybe I missed it. In the first 4 episodes, did we know the color was green? Because I feel like I didn't know that. And I didn't really know anything about the color green until those two guys were kind of talking about it. So did I miss something or no?
No, I don't think you did miss anything. It hasn't been pushed in our faces very much because I've been waiting for greens versus blacks to start happening, and it hasn't.
You know, and I guess now after rewatching it, it would have even been more powerful if they would have dropped a little Easter egg, like in episode 1 or 2 about that color. And then when she walks in the green, I think the general audience would have been like, oh, here we go. Because I didn't really make anything about it until I heard that conversation.
Yeah, you didn't make that connection when you seen her.
I didn't. And again, if you read the book, obviously you know. But like just being someone who's never read the book, I don't think it was as powerful as it could have been if they would have dropped a little Easter egg. So I think they kind of dropped the ball on that part a little bit. But overall, like I said, it was solid. The whole wedding thing was awesome. Seeing Kristen just go crazy was awesome to me because, like I said, he's been a statue for 3.5 episodes. So
the first time I watched it, I didn't know who started the fight. I didn't know what happened.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought Daemon did it because she whispered to Daemon, "Take all these people out and take me to Dragonstone and make me your wife." And I thought, oh, he's just stabbed somebody in the crowd.
Yeah, it happens so quick. You really have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, I think I caught it on my second or third time.
Yep.
Anthony Blaze, thank you for connecting with everybody. I appreciate you, my friend. And everybody in the chat, please connect with each other. And you know that's what this is all about. It's all about community and working together and helping each other out. So yeah, we're basically a massive fight happens. So you have Joffrey, who is the lover, the gay lover of Laenor. he goes to Kristen Cole because he figures out that Kristen Cole is the lover of Rhaenyra. So if he feels like if he goes to him and they can get a common bond with each other so that they both know each other's secret, they can then allow things to happen in the future, because he wants to sleep with him and Kristen Cole wanted to still sleep with the Queen up until the point she rejected him. So I was a bit confused as to how it came. We now later learned after watching it a couple of times that Kristen just decided, I'm not taking this. This is my episode. Charles from Poppin, Missouri has asked me to start doing stuff, so I'm just going to kick this dude's head in. And he literally, Game of Thrones style, pounds his face in.
Yeah, at first I was like, does he have a knife? I'm like, I think it's his fist.
Yeah, Joffrey had the knife.
Yeah.
I thought he was stabbing him in it
when he
first,
was on his back. Yeah. He was punching him in the face to the point where it was, dude, it was Oberyn Tyrell flashbacks to when the mountain squished his eyeballs out of his head. It was horrible. I was like, dude, that's sick. Wow. It just blew me away. I just didn't expect it coming. And now I'm going to ruin it all and tell you it all. What that scene was never in the books.
Oh.
The actual feast never happens.
What?
So the events of today's episode happens. Kristen Cole in the books kills Joffrey.
Okay.
But he kills him at the tournament that happens between the first, because when we get here, it's 7 days to the wedding. We have this meeting at the beginning, then it's 7 days of parties and tournaments, and then we have a wedding. During these parties and tournaments, Kristen Cole and Joffrey have the conversation that they have in this ballroom, and he finds out that he knows his secret, and he then takes it upon himself, Kristen Cole does, to take out the Knight of Laenor so that he doesn't have that secret. And he does. He kills him at this tournament. But it never happened the way it happened in the show today. There was no feast. There was no entrance with a big green dress. There was no declaration of anything like that. It wasn't in the books. So I'm sorry to ruin that scene for you, but it just shows that they are pushing forward. They're giving us extra stuff to see. And I like the fact that they gave the core Game of Thrones fans something to be like, hey, it's another wedding, because that's what we want. We want those kind of scenes.
Yeah.
Huh. Hello, Amy. Welcome in, my friend. That's my bestie's there, Amy. So she's in the chat, guys.
That is really interesting. Wow. That's
yeah,
actually shocking. That's a whole brand new scene then. I mean, obviously they took some parts from the book because they still have him kill him or whatever, but it's very interesting. Yeah,
I wrote down here, the fight doesn't happen in the book. There is no welcome feast ceremony. Joffrey's death happens at the tournament at the hand of Kristen because he wants to destroy Laena's knight.
So was the death in the book that aggressive?
Yeah, he hits him with his Morning Star, and it just sticks into his head. The whole Morning Star, which is a ball with spikes on it.
So there's the conversation between Daemon and his was it Rhaegar's cousin? Did that happen in the book? That conversation they have,
where he accuses him of that happened. No, that doesn't happen. No.
Wow. And not at all.
No, because Daemon in the book before this event has already gone to the Eyrie and tried to claim the castle for his because his wife has died. He's already been and tried to claim it.
Okay. So we'll probably see that. Well, I don't know if we'll see
it. Probably won't see that. I don't know if we
probably
will.
Won't see it. Right. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So that's that. I just wanted to, because I know earlier you were very interested to find out that scene wasn't part of the books, and I was excited to share with you that biggest scene in this entire episode wasn't part of the books.
Wow.
Amy Galt says, never mind a red wedding. This was a black wedding.
So does Kristen not try to kill himself in the books then?
Yeah, he does.
He does try to kill himself still?
Yeah, he does try to kill himself in the books, and he is still stopped by Alicent.
Okay.
Yeah, it's accurate to that point. And then we just got a last few things on my notes here. So the king's health worsens during this entire thing. He starts coughing up blood. We have Viserys collapsing. So the I don't know if we went forward a week or if they just decided to put the wedding on at the end of that night. But we do see that they do marry the two, Rhaenyra and Laenor.
I
So
think
now they
it
are
looks
married.
like it's the same time because they zoom out and there's still a puddle of blood.
Yeah.
See, when I
So I'm
rewatched it,
assuming that's going to be the same night.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
when I rewatched it and it spans through the food on the table, I thought I could see the food being moldy on the table. So we're about however long it takes for mold to grow. So maybe a week. I think it might have been a week. Fast forward,
Okay.
I'm not sure. But yeah, and then one of the most apoetic scenes in the history of House of the Dragon, we have a rat feeding on the blood of the dragon at the end, just like we had in episode 1 when the crown and the blood of the dragon was surrounded by rats at his council table, and they all wanted to be part of him, and they all wanted to be part of what he's offering. So, what do you guys think? In everything, what do you think of the episode? Did you like the final scene with the rat? Did you get the symbolization? What do you think of it as a whole? I've gone up. I said in your stream last night, Headless said that it was 7 out of 10 because it was my first time watching it. It was a pretty late in the evening, and it's been a rough weekend. But now that I've watched it a couple of times, it's 9.6, 9.8 out of 10. It's my highest rated episode so far. Charles put it best. It's like a mid-season finale.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll leave you guys to last couple of thoughts on what you thought of the episode.
I would have to say 9 for me. High 9. This was
High 9.
the best episode by far for me. Now, not saying the other 4 were not great, but this one showed more characters. Like we said, we are introduced to more people, and we got backstory, a lot of backstory, and there's going to be a lot of movement within the realm for sure. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely a 9 out of 10. I mean, I don't think any of the episodes are really lower than a 9. I mean, I think they all have been really good, and they all have their little scenes. And I know, like Ryan, I know we're talking about doing our favorite scenes or our top scene from each of the first 5 episodes, which we drop on later this week. But
Yep.
I mean, overall, the first half of the season, like you said, it's been fantastic. It's been just as good as Game of Thrones, if not even better. I mean, again, when you focus on a smaller amount of characters, you're maybe not getting as many storylines, but the storylines are closer, and you can see where they're going with this. And like I said, I'm just gonna be I'm really, really excited to see exactly how they're going to jump 10 years and not lose anything from where the current storyline is.
Yeah,
that's what I'm really curious to see, especially that relationship between Alicent and Christian Cole, because that one, like I said, it could be power, but there could be more in there too.
I don't want to spoil anything. I know that the point where she rejects him on the boat, that scene in the books is the scene where they split ways.
Mm-hmm.
So when she rejects him in the books, he kind of goes as far away from her as he could possibly go. He sees it as a complete dishonor, like he says in the episode, you just want me to be your whore.
Right.
Like, he is completely butthurt by it, and yeah, he I don't know. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but I think we have already kind of seen what's happening with those two, and now we're going to see what's happening with Alicent and him. And
that's why I said I'm curious to see what Alicent, what his relationship with Alicent is. Yeah, I mean, it is still like you saying that actually is a little bit shocking to me, just because of the fact that he ended up killing somebody, kind of sort of for her in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe it's more for him more than anything, but still, it was because of her. So
yeah.
No,
I mean, a very good point.
And if Kristen and Alicent do develop a relationship, that's just going to make Rhaenyra even more mad. So
yeah, definitely, absolutely, definitely. Well, Amy Galt thinks it's a 10, and I want to thank Amy Galt for being here, because she's in Scotland as well. When it's 2:00 in the morning, she stayed up to watch me live. Usually, I'll go to visit her and I'll ask her the next day, so what do you think of the show? And she's actually been able to tune in on the live and let me know. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate everybody being here.
Yeah.
Absolutely, really do. I appreciate it. I've seen it. It was up to 12 or 13 people today, and it blows me away seeing everybody supporting me. So I'm really, really thankful. Yeah, so that's the end of the breakdown, guys. Maybe a couple more questions for both of you. So Charles, you haven't seen the trailer, right?
Nope.
Do you want to see it?
Personally, no.
Okay, I won't share it. If you'd have said yes, I'd have shared it on screen.
No, if you want to, I'll
No,
share
no,
the screen. And,
No, don't be silly. No, I'm here. I don't want to give people spoilers if they don't want to. I know that we've spoke about a couple of things in the episode, and I give you prior warning before that we're jumping 10 years in the future.
Yeah.
So
I kind of want to go in with a clean slate. I don't want to go in knowing, okay, so I remember this from the trailer. When's it going to happen? Because I think that'll just screw me up mentally.
Yeah, I don't like them doing these things. I hate having an option to see a spoiler. Like, don't give me the option.
Did they do that for Game of Thrones? I don't.
Never.
I didn't think so. Yeah.
No, what they used to do was it would come on a couple of minutes before and it would go previously, and you would get something that happened the week before, and then it would cut, the fuzzy screen for HBO's signature fuzzy screen, and then we were into the episode. But no, I don't think it ever gave spoilers for what was coming next.
Yeah, like the little, yeah.
No,
I wish they wouldn't do that.
I wonder if they're doing that for season 1 to keep people hooked, maybe who aren't completely hooked to keep watching, and maybe season 2 they won't do that because they know they already got people to watch. I don't know. I've seen some shows do that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit scared that don't tell us we're jumping forward 10 years in time. Just do it next week. Don't tell us you're doing that.
Yeah, it definitely, like, for people who don't really know anything about the lore or anything like that, it's probably kind of a shocking trailer. Like, wait, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
Like, why are there different actresses in there?
What happened to the little girl?
Yeah. It is a little bit weird, but
the female Corlius girl, the female Valerian girl, Lena, yeah. I think we're going to see 3 actresses for that girl.
Oh, really?
In 3 episodes. She was the little girl that we've seen wanting to marry Viserys. We've seen her today as a 21-year-old, 22-year-old lady, and then we're going to see her again. And I genuinely don't think it's the same girl. When I watch the trailer back for next week, I don't think it's the same girl that was in episode 5.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to actually look at that and see that in the credits or whatever. I mean, I don't even know if they list the actors in the credits, but
no, I don't. You can tell it. You can tell it. I don't know. It doesn't look like her unless it's really well make-upped, but I don't know. And I'd like them to try and explain a little bit because, Rhaenyra's grown up, Alicent's grown up, but Daemon's not changed. Otto's not changed.
Yeah,
none of the other older dudes don't change.
Yeah.
It's a bit confusing, for people that want to understand it and stuff. But hey, I'm not going to bash the show too much. We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. We are a little bit over the scheduled programming, guys. I want to thank you both for coming on. I want to thank you both for sharing your time and your thoughts today. So both of you scored it high 9s. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to hopefully trying to keep that balance up there above the 8s and above the 9s for next week. You're both more than welcome to come on again next week. Anybody else that wants to come on, reach out. I'm more than happy to have anybody on. I think I can have 10 people on at one time. Not that I probably won't be able to handle 10 people at once, but we'll have some more people. Definitely. And yeah, guys, I'm really bad at ending things like usual. So I want to thank you everybody for being here in the chat tonight. Christina Payne, Mark, Baby Ice, Amy, Lily. If I miss you, I apologize profusely. I'm going as quick as I can through this. Headless Ned Stark, thank you for being here. Anthony Blaze, Papa Missouri,
Tats.
Simon Crook, Tats. Yeah, Simon, thank you for being here. Tats, thank you for being here. Mr. Christmas, thank you very much for being here. And guys, we will be reviewing Lord of the Rings when House of the Dragon is finished. I will be watching that show and also doing maybe some lives talking about that. So if anybody is into that and wants to come on the panel and talk about them, then feel free. Because I'm going to try and keep this Monday slot going with lives talking about TV shows from now on. Even if it's Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon or whatever it is, we'll get through it. Grids Collectors, thank you for being here. Pop Tompkins, thank you for being here. And I think that's everybody, guys. Kenneth Bird, don't want to leave you out, my friend. Johnny Funko, thank you, my friend. And Nightbot. Nightbot, you worked once for me. I should fire you as soon as I get off the stream. Okay, guys, my name's been Ryan. These have been my lovely guests for tonight, and I've had an absolute blast at reviewing episode 5. Charles, what you got coming up this week? And then I'll ask Headless Ned, and we'll take it out.
We just dropped a short and a video today. We have another video Wednesday. Blacklight, is it the new Chrome?
Blacklight, is it the new Chrome? Okay.
Yep. And then Tuesday night, Horseman. So
yeah, we got Horseman tomorrow night. Yep, that's going to be fun over on the Stable Clips channel. We're going to be hanging out, having all sorts of fun, talking about Funkos, life, NFTs, all sorts of stuff. You guys know what we get up to. And Headless Ned, what have you got coming up, my friend?
So I just dropped the video earlier today about the new reservation system at NYCC. They're getting rid of the lottery. So next Monday they'll be dropping a reservation system where it's basically first come, first call, or first come, first serve, whatever. And so I dropped a video about that, explaining how that's going to work. I'll be dropping my probably to Wednesday. I'll be dropping a review on the episodes. What am I on? 6? Episode 6 of House of the Dragon trailer. I'll drop that. Thursday I'll be dropping the video along with Ryan about our top 5 scenes.
Top 5 scenes from the first 5 episodes of House of the Dragon.
First 5 episodes, right? And somewhere in there, I'll probably be streaming some Lego Star Wars. I've been streaming that about once a week. Maybe on Saturday I'll do that. And yeah, I mean, whatever else pops up. So I try to drop 4 or 5 videos a week. So. And
then Sunday you'll be live at what?
Yeah,
9:20.
Yeah, Sunday I'll be 9:20 Central, 10:20 Eastern. And again, if you guys want to hop on, I know I think Lily's gonna be joining me again. So if you guys want to join me on Sunday, just hit me up on Instagram or whatever, and I'll send you guys a link and we can
awesome.
Chat.
Yeah, I'll be there for sure.
Okay, sounds good.
Definitely. Well, yeah, I've got Horseman tomorrow, guys. It's not my hosting week this week, so I don't know where we are. I don't know who's hosting, but one of us will be.
LSAPC is.
Okay, Jeremy from Let's Start Hurt Collection. He should be hosting tomorrow, I think. So that should be fun. Come join us there over at the Stable Clips. Thursday, I will have a video out with Headless Ned, and that will be, as he said just previously, our 5 favorite scenes from the first 5 episodes of House of the Dragon, and then we will follow up again with a following 5 when it's finished. Makes sense. That's going to be Thursday. Friday, I'm never in YouTube land. Saturday, I will be back hanging out wherever I'm hanging out. Sunday, I will be with Headless, and then it's back round to Monday again, guys. Back round to reacting to episode 6. Back to all of it. So yeah, stay tuned on my socials because I'll be asking a couple of House of the Dragon themed questions on my Instagram story this week, asking people if they're Team Green, Team Black, Team Damon, Team Allison, or however they want to do it, things like that. So definitely stay tuned for that. And might be something in the works, says Anthony Blaze. That's correct. He just reminded me. Anthony Blaze has reminded me that there is something in the works between myself, Anthony Blaze, and 2 massive Funko YouTubers in this community that everybody absolutely loves. But we aren't talking about I just ruined it. We're not talking about Funko. We're talking about wrestling. So we're going to be doing a wrestling breakdown show, and we're going to be doing it maybe weekly, and then bringing on a special guest once a month to discuss pay-per-view talk, stuff like that. And it'll be WWE and AEW focused. And yeah, that's something in the works that it'll be coming in the next couple of months. But stay tuned for that. And
cool.
And they're big YouTube. I think the 2 guys that we've got are the 2 perfect guys, in my opinion, to talk about wrestling. So it's going to be great. But yeah, Anthony Blaze, thank you for that reminder. I want to thank everybody for being here. I've pushed it further than I could really push it, 1 hour and 50 minutes. Thank you, guys. I love you all, and I'm going to take it out. So yeah, I will see you all next week. And Headless, do you want to end it with your outro? I'm going to let you take us out with your outro.
Can we use my outro?
Yeah, because I haven't got one. I need to think of a perfect one. I just say #stay milky, but yours is relevant to the stuff we're doing.
All right. Thanks for showing up, everybody, today. And don't forget, keep those heads on.
See you guys.